Everybody in the tent, let's welcome the manager of the Prescott Flyers, Mr. Kevin Harrison. Thank you very much for coming to join us. Got the fan support right down here, Kevin. Good for you.
Glad to be here.
No, happy to have you here. And first of all, welcome to Perth. Welcome to the CCHL, this new league, CCHL2, and the Showcase Weekend. And I think the excitement, first of all, for you is the opportunity, I think, is going to unfold for you to see hockey teams that you've never seen before, correct?
We are looking forward to that fact. We're going to play Arnprior, Renfrew, Clarence, Ottawa West, South on a regular basis now, as opposed to maybe the odd showcase and or being in the fourth round. So that is a challenge for us.
What do you think so far? I mean, we've got this realignment, we've got sort of a balance or an interlocking sort of modified kind of schedule, which is going to allow those kind of things to happen. But also, some of those rivalries still are there, correct?
They set the schedule up for us, well, all the teams, if they take the local team as opposed to them and keep that rivalry going, but yet start new ones. You know, in the old schedule, we played everybody 8 times. And Prescott, Brockville, for example, I can't speak to the other teams, but Prescott Brockville brings in revenue for each other.
Absolutely.
And when they wanted to go to an open schedule and limit it to like twice a team, we kind of put a kibosh to that because I knew Brockville, Athens, Westport. So we settled for 4 games, 2 at each rink to help, put, like you said, people in the stands.
So that puts a little more of a balance together, because when you look at the business portfolio, the business side, I mean, I'm going to date myself sitting up here, but going back into the 70s when you're running a junior hockey team, it's in the neighborhood of $30,000, $40,000. It's a whole lot more than that now. And in order to pay those bills, you've got to have that revenue. You've got to have the people in the seats. Not only that, but the kids that you have on the ice, they want to come to a house where they've got everybody in the stands cheering on the local team. And I think that's another important point. You look at the history of Prescott, hockey history of Prescott, you were a part of it. There are a number of people that have been. I think that's important too.
Prescott's a great place to play when you have a full rink. We're right on top of you. One of the few arenas in the league that have seats on both sides. And even up to 3 years ago, we had 2-foot glass. So like now it's a 4-foot glass. The fans a little bit, but they can lean right over. You know, they can't touch it like the old stuff.
Oh boy!
But it's a great atmosphere. We had 800 people there in the playoffs last year, and the kids do love it. And we try to go, fairly local and be competitive, and the local kids just love it.
Let's talk a little bit about that. When you put that local element in, the people come to see those local kids that have come up through. Now, the minor hockey organizations have changed somewhat, and over the last number of years, I mean, I'm going back into the late 60s, early 70s, that certainly has changed. But as far as the development process, I'm sure that you try and continue to keep, a number of core each and every year, so that there are some teams that you might take a look where they load up for 1 year trying to make it to the distance and win the whole thing, and they come back the next year and they don't really have anything. And I think you're a situation where you're continuously trying to guard against that, right?
Yeah, everybody thinks we loaded up last year. We had a great run last year, 26 points ahead of second place, won the Joe Cup, lost in 4 to Castle. But that wasn't a load up. That was 5 years of commitment from a lot of hockey players. And unfortunately this year we knew we were going to lose some of those veterans because of their age. And we had 8 94s. We could only keep 4 of them. But unfortunately 5 guys also decided to go work for a living or go to school. So that kind of caught us a little off guard. But we didn't really sell the farm to win last year. It was just we had 10 or 12 guys that had been committed for 4 or 5 years, maybe 6 for a couple of them. And it all worked out for us last year.
And Kevin, isn't that a big part of the hockey franchise and these local community teams that we're talking about, is that you have those players that want to play in Prescott. I want to come back again next year to play for the Prescott hockey team. I've had fun here. It is that local perspective. And I think that's a big part of how this league, the history of this league, that dates back to 1966, right?
Yeah. And no, like you talk about guys wanting to come play in Prescott because of the atmosphere and the crowd. We got 10 guys coming back next Saturday night for a home opener to see the unveiling of the Gold Cup. And some of those guys are traveling a distance now to come back. But that's how much being a Flyer means to them.
That you take a look at the history of the community and the support of that community. That goes back a long ways too, and it continues to be there year after year. And I know we can talk about stats all through the night till the cows come home. But the bottom line to the whole situation of these communities that have these hockey teams, they've been important. They've been important to the community. They've been important to the businesses and fan base of the community. But they've also been very important to the players that have come to play there, because a lot of these kids have ended up settling there. They get married and they started a business, or they work in that community. And I think that is one of the most important, when you talk about development, that's a kingpin of development in my estimation.
It's great in Prescott. A lot of guys around the league know that, unfortunately, I got a phone call from Kevin Abrams about every week last year. When it was all going down. The mayor was talking about us, and George Brown, the MP, was talking about us. They were emailing Mr. Abrams, and I get a phone call, and the Flyers can't do this, and the Flyers can't do that. I said, it's not the Flyers doing this. It's down in Prescott and the county of Grenville. They're fighting for the Flyers to remain in this league.
Absolutely, and so be it. And that's the kind of strength and support that you've had year after year. I mean, look at you've got a number of hockey players that have gone on from Prescott to bigger and better things, right?
Yes, we've, my 8 years, I think the number's about 36 kids that have gone on to at least Junior A. We've got a couple that have gone on to Major Junior A, and currently Josh Pitt is playing at West Michigan. And if anybody saw the highlights last year where he flipped the puck up, split the D, he got his career playing for South Grenville. But no, we take pride in moving the kids up. We work hard at them. We have young kids, and that is a drawback of having young kids in the lineup. We play them, they get ice time, they develop, and then they get picked off by a junior club.
You know, that's one thing, and when that happens, that's a good thing for that kid, and you've developed that situation, you've given him that opportunity. That's one part of this, but the other part is, you know, the kid that doesn't get that opportunity to make the step, he's found a home, right, and he continues to be in that home for 4 or 5 years, and that to me is a nice thing. He's turned that hockey club into his home. He's committed to it, and that's what puts winning teams on the other.
It is, and yeah, we lose the odd kid once in a while to Junior A, and but everybody else is successful in Prescott. It's like a family. You're accepted into the family, and in order to be moved or cut, you got to do something really bad. The better players that don't make it, they adjust to our style. We're welcome to do what we call a family atmosphere. And they are lifers.
Yeah, and that's really what that community is all about too. Because not only in the hockey world, but you know, I played golf in that area. That it's a welcoming kind of community. You know, you have a lot of fun there, and you know, I'm glad to see that you're still here. The Prescott Flyers still alive and well. Showcase weekend. I mean, here we are, and this will be something that hopefully down the road, a place like Prescott will be able to take advantage of it and maybe host a showcase weekend. I know that, you know, there are a lot of areas in the city that have 2 pads, and I think this is a really nice thing when we're working on one surface, and we've got all 16 teams in this new league, CCHL2, coming in for the weekend, supporting and coming to the Perth area, and I think that can expand and move along to areas like yours. I think that's very important too.
I think the town of Prescott would support it very well. Right now, unfortunately, the way the dressing rooms are designed, we can't host one right now because 2 of the rooms aren't big enough for a junior B hockey club. The town's put into place some raising us money to expand the dressing rooms. So we're hoping in the next couple of years that we can put our name in the hat to host one of these.
I mean, you're going to put your name in the hat, and I wish you well. What about the hockey team this year? I mean, you're always looking, the off-season develops where you get into areas where you're always trying to find somebody, constantly building. Successful this off-season? How have you done?
Well, we're looking forward to this year. We've got 2 games under our belt. Unfortunately, a tough draw in the schedule of having 2 games basically back-to-back, 3 hours in between. Guys did great today. Played Ottawa West, is a very strong club, lost 5-3. Met Arm Pryor on a 3-hour rest. Good game with Arm Pryor, lost in a shootout. 14 rookies in the lineup that are going to have to find their way. The speed's a little quicker. We added 5 kids from South Grenville B hockey, Major B hockey, and they're just going to need a few games under their belt to adjust to the speed, but we like what we see so far.
And you know, I think over the course of the weekend, what we're seeing and what happened Friday night when we got started and all through the day today, there's no blowouts. I mean, these are 4-3 games, 3-2 games. There's been a couple of games go to OT with some shootouts happening, and that to me says something about where we're progressing and moving as well.
The competition's been great this weekend. We were talking about that earlier today. The shootout before us, overtime before that game, and then shootout after us, and then we were in the shootout again. Even Caston and the Canadians played a 2-1 game. Everyone, I think the biggest defeat's 4-1. That was last night.
Yeah.
Everybody's been within 2 goals.
Well, listen, thank you very much for doing this with us, and thanks for hanging around. I know that you had a little bit of a road trip to get back down the road, but wish you great success. And the other thing is, sure glad you're still around. The Prescott Flyers, you know what, they've been a part of history with this league for a long, long time, and they deserve to continue to be. And I know you'll be strong. I know you'll be supported. You got a great community, and we're sure happy that you're here this weekend and still within this new CCHL too. Good luck to you, my friend. Good luck to your fan base. Good luck to your team this year. Wish you all the best.
Thanks for having me.
Kevin Harrison, the manager of the Prescott Flyers, back there at that table. Let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.